Welcome back to Movie Moshow. Today we are going to review the science fiction thriller film, The Last Days. If you like our content, don't forget to like and subscribe. We upload multiple times daily. Spoilers ahead. In a building in the heart of Barcelona that has been devastated by a catastrophe, office worker Mark forages grow food. As he works to excavate a tunnel in the basement, he nearly causes it to collapse out of fear for his love Julia, who was staying at his flat at the time of the disaster. He runs into Enrique, his former boss, as they break into a nearby building, and Enrique tells Mark they can talk later. A flashback reveals that Enrique had the power to fire Mark from his job as a computer engineer. Mark fights Julia's desire to have children out of fear of losing his career. The next day, Mark views a video of a little child who committed suicide because his father could not accept or understand his severe agoraphobia. 3 months after the unnamed incident, in the present, Mark and Enrique talk about leaving the structure together. Enrique, who possesses a functioning GPS gadget, asks Mark not to tell the others about it. Mark responds that he has stolen Rovira's, a deceased employee, supplies. Enrique first rejects Mark's scavenged materials and refuses to work with him, but Mark eventually threatens Enrique into cooperating with him in his search for Julia. The GPS device is taken by a young pickpocket as the two make their way through the subway system. Enrique kills Javier, the pickpocket's brother, following a chase and a struggle over his belongings when the electricity goes out. Mark is happy to learn that Enrique is open to continuing their collaboration despite his concerns that he won't continue without him. Mark's neighbor has not left the building for months, according to a different flashback. Rovira is made to leave the office after it is discovered that she has been secretly residing there. He convulses after being tossed outside. When hauled back inside, the spasms stop, but the trauma nevertheless kills him. Mark finds that more and more people are hesitating to leave their houses while he and Julia discuss these bizarre incidents at home. Mark becomes irritated when Enrique won't say why he wants to travel to the Olympic City with a bag full of seeds. They use explosives to break into Mark's apartment complex once they think they have found it. They discover that Julia, who is now expecting a child, is not present. Flashbacks show a rising form of agoraphobia known as the panic, an illness of unknown origin that causes convulsions and kills anyone who ventures outside. Julia and Mark are arguing once more about whether or not to start a family, and Julia accuses Mark of using the panic as an escape. Julia won't talk to Mark after he leaves for work, and when he suddenly develops agoraphobia, he is left stuck in the office building. Enrique informs Mark that he will leave the group now that they have arrived at his apartment complex. The two make some headway toward reconciliation when Enrique says that he is trying to get to the hospital where his father is being treated for a coma. Enrique is almost killed by a bear at a church, but Mark kills it. The two talk about their pasts and concerns as they consume the bear. Enrique learns from a group of survivors that the hospital burned down and that it is unlikely his father survived because he was in a coma. When Enrique experiences a severe depression, he gives Mark his seeds and instructs him to locate Julia and preserve the child. Mark finds himself on his own in the shopping area where Julia used to work. He searches the grocery store and discovers a group of survivors, but another group raids them. Andrea, Julia's co-worker, is discovered, but debris claims her life. Enrique defends Mark from a man brandishing a knife, suffering a serious injury in the process that he hides. Mark spots Julia in the building across the street. He returns to tell Enrique and is shocked to see his injuries. Mark crosses the street to be with Julia on the strength of Enrique's last wish, even though it almost kills him. After Julia gives birth a few months later, they use the seeds to build a greenhouse. As the youngster becomes older, it is demonstrated that he or she is able to leave the building without experiencing panic. As it happens, he belongs to a new wave of people who are inherently resistant to the panic. Mark and Julia watch as he departs with other young people to restore civilization. Thank you for watching and don't forget to like and subscribe.